Yo, what is up, guys? So today we're talking about the women's bantamweight fight between Sarah Moras and Vanessa Melo at UFC Fight Night Holly vs. Cater. And guys, before I get into the video, make sure you guys hit that like button and comment who you guys think is gonna win this women's bantamweight fight, and hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so guys don't miss when I post a new video. That'd be absolutely insane. But guys, Sarah Moras and Vanessa Melo, one of these two fighters is being cut from the UFC after this fight. Sarah Moras has a record of 6 wins and 6 losses. If she loses another fight, 1000% she's being cut from the UFC. Out of her last 5 fights inside the UFC, she has only won 1 of them. That is absolutely insane. Vanessa Melo has a record of 10 wins and 8 losses. Her last 3 fights all being losses. It's a pretty good competition. Like Carol Rosa, Tracy Cortez, and then Irene Aldana. Every single one of those losses coming by unanimous decision. And guess what, guys? She has yet to have 1 win inside the UFC. She is 0-3 inside the UFC. That is absolutely insane. Sarah Moras is the 18th best women's bantamweight fighter in the world. Vanessa Melo, the 29th best women's bantamweight fighter in the world. Sarah Moras is obviously the favorite to win the fight at -250 as the moderate favorite to win the fight. Vanessa Melo, the +210 moderate underdog to win the fight. They're similar in age, both 32.5 years old. Similar heights. Sarah Moras is a little bit taller at 5'7" tall. Vanessa Melo is 5'5" tall, so a little advantage there for Sarah Moras in this fight. Also a 2-inch reach advantage for Sarah Moras in this fight, as she has a reach of 67 inches compared to the reach of Vanessa Melo's, which is only 65 inches, so a good advantage there for Sarah Moras in this fight. Now, Sarah Moras, as I said at the beginning of the video, -250 as the moderate favorite. Vanessa Melo, the +210 moderate underdog to win the fight. If you look at the Tablogy predictions, they are absolutely insane. Out of 900 different Tablogy predictions, 72% of the vote are going for Sarah Moras to win the fight, most likely by unanimous decision. And then some people have her winning the fight by submission. A very, very small amount of people have her winning the fight by knockout. I don't really see a finish from either fighter in the fight. I think the way that both of them would win the fight would be by unanimous decision, and that's exactly what these Tablogy predictions are saying. 28% of the vote going for Vanessa Melo to win the fight, also mainly by unanimous decision. But guys, look at these girls' records. 6-6 for Sarah Moras. Absolutely horrible, but she did start her career back in 2010 with a nice win over Helena Martin. And guess what, guys? 2 years later, she ended up fighting a top 10 women's bantamweight fighter in the world in Juliana Pena, who, guess what, was undefeated at the time at 4-0. And Sarah Moras went out there and beat Juliana Pena, giving her her first ever pro MMA loss. And after that win over Juliana Pena, she joined Invicta FC but lost her first fight with the promotion by unanimous decision. Came back with a first-round armbar submission win over Christina Berry, got a shot on the Ultimate Fighter Season 18, got a decision win over Tara La Rosa, a first-round armbar submission win over Peggy Morgan, and in her next fight in 2013, rematch Juliana Pena. Again, it was an exhibition bout, but this time the outcome was a little bit different as she ended up losing the fight by second-round guillotine choke submission. Came back after that with a decision win over Alexis Dufresne on the Ultimate Fighter 19 finale, but lost her next fight to a former UFC champion in Jessica Andrade by unanimous decision. She was supposed to fight Lauren Murphy in 2016. That fight fell through, and instead she fought Ashley Evans Smith in 2017. Won that fight by first round armbar submission, but went on a 3-fight losing streak after that. Lost her next fight to Lucy Pudilova by unanimous decision. Lost her next fight as well to Talita Bernardo, also by unanimous decision. Lost her next fight as well to Macy Chiasson, who was undefeated at 4-0 at the time. Lost that fight by second round TKO. At the time, she was 5-5 as a pro MMA fighter. Came back after that with a third round TKO win over Liana Jojua, but lost her next fight to Sijara Eubanks, another top 15 bantamweight fighter in the world. Lost that fight by unanimous decision and looks to come back with a win here over Vanessa Melo in this fight. Alright guys, so Vanessa Melo has a record of 10 wins and 8 losses. Not the best record in this women's bantamweight division. She did start her career back in 2011 with a nice win over Natalie Santos. Lost her next 2 fights, both by unanimous decision, to Camila Lima and Juliana Werner. Came back with a first round rear naked choke submission win over Sulene Fejeda. Got a decision win over Gloria Isabel Bravo Barrios. Lost her next fight by split decision to Vanessa Guimarães. Got a unanimous decision loss to Silvana Ana Gomez Juarez came back with a first round rear naked choke submission win over Juliana Late, and then won her next fight by unanimous decision against Molly McCann, but lost her next fight to Subi Salmimis by split decision. Came back after that with 5 unanimous decision wins in a row over Nubia Nascimento, Diana Firmino, Nildy Trinidad, Mariana Moras, and John Finney. But guess what, guys? In her next fight inside the UFC back in 2019, lost her next fight to a main event fighter in Irene Aldana. Lost that fight by unanimous decision. Lost her next fight as well to Tracy Cortez by unanimous decision. And then in her most recent fight, lost that one as well to Cara Rosa by unanimous decision. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, whoever loses this fight is 1000% being cut from the UFC, because if Vanessa Melo loses this fight, she'll be on a 4-fight losing streak inside the UFC with no wins inside the UFC. That is absolutely horrible. Sarah Moras, if she loses this fight, she'll be 1-5 in her last 6 fights. That would be absolutely horrible. So 100% Dana White would cut the loser of this fight. Guys, if you guys look at how Sarah Moras and Vanessa Melo actually win and lose their fights, Sarah Moras has won 3 of her fights by knockout, 3 of her fights by submission, and then 2 of her fights by decision. She's lost 5 of her fights by unanimous decision, 1 of the fights by knockout, and then 1 of the fights by submission. And if you look at how Vanessa Melo wins and loses her fights, it's a little bit different as Sarah Moras. A total of 8 of her wins are coming by decision, 2 of those wins coming by submission, and absolutely 0 of those wins coming by knockout. She doesn't really have very good knockout power on her striking game. Out of her losses is a little bit different. 1 of those losses coming by knockout, and then 7 of the losses coming by decision. In my opinion, I 100% think this fight is going to end by decision. And guys, whoever has a better striking in this fight most likely is going to end up winning the fight. And if you look at Vanessa Melo's last loss to Cara Rosa, it was absolutely horrible. Every single punch that Vanessa Melo threw in that fight was so weak. I watched it and I thought she was an amateur. I mean, she looked absolutely horrible in that fight against Cara Rosa. And if she looks horrible in the fight against Sarah Moras, I mean, there's no way Vanessa Melo is going to win the fight. And I am 100% going to bet on Sarah Moras to win the fight. She's a perfect parlay piece. She's going to dominate the fight against Vanessa Melo in this fight. And 100%, I have Sarah Moras winning this fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, so I'm just going to say 6-6 as a pro MMA fighter. That's absolutely horrible. 10-8 as a pro MMA fighter. That is also absolutely horrible. 0-3 inside the UFC. No wins inside the UFC, and they're giving you another fight inside the UFC. Come on, Dana. Dana, just cut Vanessa Melo. Why is she even in the UFC right now? I don't know why Dana hasn't cut her already. I just hope Sarah Moras goes out there and absolutely dominates Vanessa Melo, so she 100% gets cut from the UFC. But guys, yes, Sarah Moras 100% is going to win the fight by unanimous decision. But guys, put your predictions in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you guys think is going to happen in this women's bantamweight fight. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you guys don't miss when I post a new video. That'd be absolutely insane. But guys, that is it for the video. I'm out of here.